Guys, Happy New Year everyone, and welcome to Visual Storytelling with Olshi. I'm Olshi, and on this channel we'll talk about manga, drawing and anything art related. Welcome to my cozy reading nook. This is kind of a bonus video this month. While I'm working on another more complex video, I decided to just upload this little thing. I originally planned to make a video by the end of 2022 about just highlights of 22 in general, where I would also have talked about different TV series and books and movies and games, but I decided that that would kind of clutter up this channel a little bit, so instead I'm gonna talk only about manga that I read 2022 and not all the other stuff. The title of the video might be a little bit misleading because most of the manga that I read last year were not published last year, but before that. And most of the manga that were published last year I did not read, simply because lack of time, money and space in my bookshelf. Also, I'm wearing this hoodie again because apparently I have nothing else to wear. So let's talk about manga. The first manga I read last year was also one of my favorites. Yuna's Reise zum Ich, I guess would translate into Yuna's Journey to Self. I'm not sure whether it was published in English. I will look it up and blend in the cover here somewhere. It is an autobiographical manga about a trans woman's journey to herself. Basically, she tells the story of the gender-affirming surgery she went through and how complicated the whole process can be and what challenges they are and how well it was still worth it for her to go through it. It is a really touching story. Also, I think really educational for anyone who doesn't know much about what it means to be trans, especially if you need gender-affirming surgery in order to feel more comfortable in your body. So I think I can recommend the manga to anybody. It's a really well told story. Talking about autobiographical LGBTQ+ stories, I also really liked Meine lesbische Erfahrung mit der Einsamkeit, my lesbian experience with loneliness. I rented the manga from the library here in Hamburg. Actually, most of the manga I read last year were from the library. I even made a whole video about it. You can watch it here. The link is in the info cards. This manga can be really funny sometimes. It's also really honest and sad and talks about things like loneliness. It's not just about the sexuality of the author, but also about her mental illnesses, eating disorders. So it is a little bit on the heavier side, but also it sounds cheesy if I say it's really real, but you know, life can be challenging sometimes, and it's amazing if authors talk about their experience. This kind of manga, I think, can help people not to feel alone who go through similar experiences, and yeah, it was just a really great read. Both of those manga were one-shots, basically single volume manga. A series I read, finished and loved is Tokyo Tarareba Girls, or Tokyo Girls. I don't know, somehow this series is still stuck in my head to a certain degree, even though I don't agree with all of the messaging in it, and I really dislike the male protagonist. Like I was not shipping her and like the main girl and the main guy, basically. I was not shipping them. I think he's an asshole. But still, I don't know, there is just something really... First of all, it's like really fun to read. It can be extremely funny. I think the way the story is told is just... it really flows. And I also really love the German translation. I think it's very well done. I don't know, it's a story about 30+ women who are trying to be grown up, and even though in certain areas of their life they did succeed, they still don't feel grown up enough, which I kind of can really relate to, because a lot of the time I am a 30+ something woman and I do not feel like a grown up most of the time. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, kind of really relatable. Another manga that I actually only read one volume of, but I want to read more, is Who's Sakamoto. It's extremely... This manga is just stupidly funny. The humor in it is just really creative. but just stupid. If you just want to laugh, have a good time without any kind of seriousness, I would really recommend Who is Sakamoto. It's just over the top and I love it. Der Mann meines Bruders, my brother's husband, I guess is the title, maybe. It's another LGBTQ plus story, and I actually read 3 of the 4 volumes, so I hope I can find the time to rent the 4th volume and to finish the series. It's about a man trying to come to terms with the death of his brother, who he got estranged to after his brother came out to him as gay. It's quite a heartwarming story about family and just newfound family, and how family can just in general work outside of the normal conventions of a man married to a woman and having children. Not that much happens in the manga, but it still shows certain prejudices people can have, why they have them, and how they can get past them as well. Atelier of Witch Hat. Here again I only read like I think 2 volumes out of how many, and I gotta say this is the biggest discovery art-wise last year. I don't think there is a manga that is more beautiful than Atelier of Witch Hat out there. Honestly, like maybe a different art style that is just as beautiful, but the line work in this, the paneling, just the aesthetics, it's so beautiful, and how the magic system is kind of part of the visuals of the story. It's just impressive and amazing, and I love it. The characters are really cute, the character designs are great, and I really look forward to continue reading the story. Again, it's just a matter of kind of time, and also you have to be lucky because a lot of the time the books are not available at the library. Then I have 2 books by Jiro Taniguchi, which I really love. Der Spazierende Mann, the man who goes on walks. I don't know. It is a super quiet book, like really just basic human life. The kind of life that elderly people live, where just nothing happens, but it's just so great because it makes you really appreciate the really little things in everyday life while you go on the walk. All the little things you notice, or just, you know, you see people doing certain stuff, or you see an animal, or you see a pretty tree, and it just makes you really appreciate those things. And Jiro Taniguchi's art style is just perfect for this, because he's really good at drawing backgrounds and environments. It really takes you into the story. And the second book I really read was sent to me by my editor, Philip, so thank you very much for this. This is amazing. Venice. It's almost like a photo book, not a manga. It's full color, and it's just full of painting from Venice. It does have a really kind of basic story that flows well into the art book, and this is supposed to be a kind of, not exactly a travel guide, but it was like a cooperation between a travel agency and Jiro Taniguchi. So the main point of it is just literally the beauty of Venice in watercolor. It's so pretty. Each and every panel I can just stare at for hours. The details, the shadows. I can't even imagine how much time it took to paint all of this. I mean, Jiro Taniguchi is probably really experienced and much faster than most people are, but still, like, it's just mind-blowing. If you are planning to go to Venice, or if you have been to Venice and really love the place, I can only recommend getting this book as well. It's just a love letter to the city. And now we come to the last books that I actually own as well, and that were published by German-speaking artists. There weren't that many manga that I read last year by German artists, but all of them whom I read did actually come out last year. So I will just mention them all. They all deserve the spotlight, and in general, I personally want to talk more about German manga, so here we go. None of these books are available outside of German. So really sorry about to all my non-German speaking viewers. One reason why I want to talk more about manga made in Germany is for the manga to be known outside of Germany. So hopefully some of the manga made in German-speaking countries are actually being translated to other languages. Scarecrow and Cold were translated into Swedish, so good news for Swedish viewers. I don't think I have any Swedish viewers out there. Drop a comment if you are from Sweden. Anyways, here we go. Here are the manga that most of you, according to my analytics, cannot read. So let's start with Green Garden. The last volume came out last year with this beautiful box and some other amazing extras. I usually don't really get the boxes or any standees or any kind of extras. I read manga not as a collector, but mostly as a reader, so I don't really care about those things usually. But I don't know, I just found it so beautiful. And Sozan Choskun's art is just... it's so dreamy, and I don't know, I felt like I had to get it this time. This is the only special edition I got ever, but I think it's worth it. The story is about people having nightmares because of energy source that the country they live in is using, and because of this nightmares people are not doing very well mentally. And the protagonist, is trying to solve this. Just Sozan Choskun's artwork and the story, they flow really well together. Like, you feel like you're in a dream most of the time. And a lot of people were a little bit confused by the ending. Me too, but I really didn't mind. It's like not a clear ending, and I think you can interpret it in your own way what exactly happened. There were some elements that I wish were explained a little bit more. All in all, just a great series, easy to read. If you can read German, you should check it out. I'm really looking forward to Sozan's new work that will come out this year. The artwork that she has shown on her social media is amazing. Next is, was it Charon? Charon 78? I forgot how to pronounce the name. By Tamasaburo. I talked about Tamasaburo in my German manga collection video. Honestly, I think she might be my favorite German-speaking artist at the moment. Not just art-wise, but also story-wise. I have only read volume 1, 2 volumes are out by now. So I don't know how the story will continue, but there's just something really special about volume 1. The atmosphere is, I don't know, mystical. I don't know, Tamasaburo just manages to create kind of world that you really just want to know more about. The character designs are not just here to look cool, they are truly part of the world building, and they are part of this mystical aura of the story. Basically, you want to know how the characters came to be, how they came to look what they look like. And I think a lot of stuff will probably not be explained in the story, but I really like that. It's just have this really interesting world. And to a certain degree, you are left in the unknown, at least in volume 1. Nothing is too overly explained. The things are just the way they are. They are normal for the characters in the story, but at the same time, they are still fantastical to some of the characters. And it's just, I don't know. I just look forward to the continuation of the story. And I'm not even talking about the art. Tamasaburo is she's just an amazing artist. Her line work is, she can keep up with any artist from Japan. Honestly, she's just like up there. So yeah, maybe my number 1 among German-speaking releases last year. Another manga that made me really look forward to any future projects by the author is Mortalis by Dominique Yal. We published manga with the same publisher. He's also with Carlsen Manga, and Mortalis is a horror manga with 2 short stories. It is his debut work, and I don't know, his art just stands out. It's really detailed, dark and gritty, but still has a finesse to it. The challenge with short stories in general is that it's really difficult to tell any kind of more complex story. I think the strength of these two short stories is definitely the atmosphere and the artwork. Stories, they are alright. I think it's a really great debut work, and it just shows how much Dominic can do, what kind of potential he has, and I really look forward to any of his future projects because I think great things are coming for us, and it's gonna be great. So yeah, you should get it if you like horror manga and if you are really into atmospheric stories. And last one I read is Zuckerwasser by Rakami. This is actually the work she published before Die innere Stimme. She published the story by herself, but this is like a renewed version of it, the collection of the single volumes that she released by herself. Some of the stuff is remastered, as I would say. She just drew lots of stuff again with her gained experience from Die innere Stimme, and you can see like just how far she has come since then. As usual, Rakami is really good at depicting emotion. Her paneling is clear but creative. Just like with Green Garden, the ending is a little bit open, I guess. It doesn't give you a clear explanation of what exactly happened. I think I do get what happened, but I'm still not sure what to make of it. So to me, the strong point of this book is definitely the art. The story is, yeah, I'm still not sure what I think about it. I do prefer Die innere Stimme. I think Die innere Stimme might have been my 2021 favorite German-speaking manga. Not every work by an author can be a perfect hit, especially not for every reader. Every taste is different. But yeah, because it is kind of the work before Die innere Stimme, I think it's just interesting to see the journey of her as an artist, as an author, and just in general how far German-speaking artists can go if you give them the chance. Okay, this is kind of it. I'm not talking about doujinshi in this video, basically any self-published manga, because I read a bit, but not that much. I don't know, maybe I will make this kind of bonus video for February where I talk about the doujinshi that I read. So yeah, those were my favorite manga of 2022. Yeah, as you have seen, most of them were not released in 2022. What were your favorite manga last year? Do you have some recommendations? Do you know some works that are totally underrated and should get more spotlight on them? This year I will try to read more manga again, either from the library or maybe in digital form, because it's a bit cheaper and I don't need space for it. And since I'm reading manga mostly for the story, I'm not a collector, I really don't mind buying my manga in digital form. I hope you had a great start into year 2023. My next video should come out in maybe a couple of weeks. If you don't want to miss it, then subscribe to this channel and press the notification bell. Also, I would like it if you liked this video, if you left a comment, if you shared it maybe. And also you can follow me on my other social media like Instagram and Twitter. My manga Bad Dog and Good Boy will be coming out in May. And you can also read my self-published manga Another Me online for free, or you can purchase a printed copy. After the hiatus, because of Bad Dog and Good Boy, I am continue working on Another Me again. I just love drawing these characters again, and hopefully there will be new pages in February. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye!